Good morning, afternoon, or evening, and welcome to the Hayseed night, where we have a little brief interlude here between the narrator and Lynn before we get back to the actual story. And Lynn has fallen asleep, right? Yep, I remember this. She's asleep, she's not dead. I think this is where the narrator discovers Lynn's drawings. Alright, oh yeah, Heirloom City as it is now, as opposed to as it is in the story that's being told here.
You seem lost, traveler.
Oh yeah, this is the story of how Lynn and the narrator here met.
Hey, you! I'm talking to you! Heed my words, Craven! Yes! I see it crystal clear! What I want is of no consequence. I can tell from your staff that you don't hail from these lands. An enigma has brought you to Heirloom, Orchid of the Steppes. Ring a bell, you say? Ring a bell, you say? Thank your luck, Pilgrim. You shan't take a step further than you have, for this whisper of a great soul is so ingrained in my mind that it may as well be my own. I have a tale to tell, if you have a coin to spare. That'll cost you two. There's no finer story in all of Dakna. The Knight of the Upper Field. Adderson, the Beast Slayer. Where didst thou cometh from? Where didst thou wend?
And this is where she discovers that he actually knows the story.
What? I knew that. No way! Oh, so you're the only person in the world that knows the last thing about him. Is that it? Why? You're kidding, right? Oh, wait, what? Wait!
Yeah, her curiosity was piqued, and now here they are. She's writing down the story. Aha, this is where the narrator discovers the drawings. Or doodles.
Oh, don't need this. I'm awake! I'm awake! Promise you won't rip my guts out for falling asleep? I'm so sorry. I don't know what happened. But what? No, of course I was writing everything down. No, I'm all right. I swear. No. Look, I'm awake. So awake. I can't. I've been thinking a lot about it, and I can't decide if I like Geeter or Gilbot better. I also think that Isif has a lot of potential. Basic, but I can't deny it has a great ring to it. Wait! Don't go! I'm here! We can't stop here. I don't want to go until you finish the story. Don't go! Gee, there are a lot of things I'd love to tell you that you don't want to hear. You don't want to know that either. I knew you'd say that too. I thought that was what the last chapter was all about. So, you really don't want me to write anymore? Okay. Look, Wow,
Alright.
that's so scary. Someone with thumbs, horns, and an overly helpful disposition. My prophecy! Let's just get this over with.
Alright, chapter 4. Everything you aren't. Or the importance of faking the virtues that you lack. Okay, so this is where, we kind of already saw, what's her name again? Zhao. We kind of already saw Zhao earlier.
Zhao! That's Zhao, right? I knew she was going to be important! That's not callous or anything.
Find them! Find those traitors!
Excuse me,
Beasts! I saw them! Are you out of your goddamn mind?
you can...
Golems! It's an army of golems!
One can tell me how you arrived to the Temple of Hit?
Out of the way!
And I think this is where she meets Illigrab, right?
You're going to have to speak a little louder than...
Lassie? Bisected! That was bisected just now, right?
You would be the first one.
Anyway, I'm so glad you're here.
And Illigrab is going to take her to the temple.
Why don't you take a deep breath and hop on up?
Please,
So, the Temple of Irib, right?
do apna dare, Zhao.
Really? How very fitting for the occasion. Hey, you would...
Alright. So... Now we're back to Adder. And Adder has been brought on board the beast's ship. And he's having a bit of an awkward encounter with Eka. I think I picked I'm Adder last time. So this time, let's go for a different bit of dialogue. Where y'all from?
You folks from out of town?
Mm-hmm. We've been sailing for quite some time now.
Sailing, you say? So y'all are sailors in here. Darn, I'm so jealous. Always loved the sea, but I ain't never been on a boat before.
Oh? So how are you liking your first time on a ship then?
Adder swiveled his face from side to side, confused. As it turned out, the dining table wasn't the only marble piece in the room. Both the matte ground and radiant slopes that curved into the ceiling seemed as if carved out of a pink-veined pearl, turned deep blue by the darkness and warm yellow by the candlelight. Though such a sight wouldn't have been out of place for the palaces inside Adder's imagination, the air inside was so biting that it seemed bleak night had come early. It might have been colder yet if it weren't for all the flames illuminating the room and the rugs. Fur rugs. Not fluffy blankets like those made out of bush feathers, actual hides. Far too long to go before any type of ruminant Adder was aware of. Oh, far too long to belong to any type of ruminant Adder was aware of. But little did that change their effect.
It ain't quite what I expected.
Yeah? It doesn't get much nicer than this, living in the sea. Though, I'd rather be moored just about anywhere else. I'll give you that.
I think we're back on familiar ground here. I think I kind of remember this. So we didn't really have very many lines of unique dialogue based on the option we picked there.
Well, I don't want to make y'all feel like I don't appreciate the way y'all saved my behind back there.
No way! You're really going to leave after all the lengths we've gone to into making you dinner?
Oh, yeah, this is was it turnips? Radishes, right? Not the nicest radishes ever. Kind of in bad shape.
I have to admit that we're not exactly well versed in deer diets.
No, you got that right, ma'am.
Good.
Oh, I'm eating them all right.
You're still not eating them.
Well, of course not.
Not where we hail from, pup.
Yeah, no, that's the part that worries me, actually.
Please excuse my crew's manners. You have nothing to worry about while I'm around, of course.
Well, it sure is reassuring to hear you got a taste for quality food here.
So, are you going to eat your deer food now?
You know what? I think I'll pass.
You're going to have to try a little harder to fool me, dear. How did you find the way to air?
You, apparently?
I know rot when I smell it. I was told we had to make sure a yellow deer would get hanged, not a... I don't know where you learned to make your ruminant sounds, Jackal Cub, but they taught you completely wrong.
Yeah, she's mistrustful of him at first.
I mean, you know, I learned my A's and my R's from my mom and pa.
Explain this monpa to me.
You know, it's when a deer and a doe love each other very much. Ouch!
She could be friends with Bearbith. Sheesh.
Fleece my face. Flat teeth! You're an actual deer after all. No wonder you weren't scared.
Yeah.
Hey, you have to do the thing.
Which thing would that be now?
The words. Do the funny thing to the words when you speak.
Oh! You mean my accent!
Right? That's not what the other deer looked like. What a meager meal.
Couldn't agree more, ma'am.
Alright, so I think we'll get to see Sepp and Aina shortly.
And that's why eating venison would lead to the end of your whole species, so
You're such a weird little deer pup.
it's a good thing.
Oh, yeah. I don't need to know many grazers to tell you're a strange one. You make me want to sink my fangs into your neck and bite you open. Just,
No, not at all.
no, I suppose you wouldn't. Hey, that sounds pretty great, doesn't it?
Afraid I heard it got my...
Bones.
Yep, that's me.
Man, you're a howl.
Aina? She wanted me here?
Don't worry, puppy.
Sister?
You know, our father.
Alright, so do we get to see Sepp and Aina now? I think. Maybe, yeah? Yeah, we do. Okay. So Sepp and Aina are,
No, it can't end like this. Get it together, Sepp. I'm going to skin that sidling piece of rotten Bracket's tail. So, you're trapped in some kind of cell with no, Sepp, we talked about this. So, you agree we're doomed then? Gods, I don't know why I put up with you. On that, we...
and this is where we have to grab stuff. We find a mop. And then there's something in the hammock. Can we look around a little more though? Snails. Dozen or so woven snail cages hanging from hooks on the roof or piled up wherever they fit. I don't think I looked at these last time. It was only then that Sepp realized that the nasty little things had bitten through their enclosures and slimed their way out through literally every corner.
What? How dare you call them nasty? Snails are the cutest creatures on Knockna.
On a scale from creepy to wet, the break was dark, slightly moist, and overrun with snails.
This is disgraceful. Slander! My Sepp loves snails and thinks they're adorable.
Well, Sepp tried very hard not to think about how much she loved sitting on trails of snail slime as she mustered the last of her willpower to settle her stomach and continue to search for anything that could help her break out. So, is there anything else? We looked at the mop and we looked at the snails. Is the only other thing we can look at Aina? I think it might... Oh no. What was that? The amphorae piled in a corner of the brig were very reminiscent of the commercial Basaxiran pottery Sepp had had the chance of reading about in the temple's library back when she was still welcome there. The vases definitely looked like they were made to transport liquids, most likely spirits or oil. Okay, so that's that. 6, 7, 8 full armor suits, complete with spears and a mound of detachable antlers piled under them. Zeb wasn't an expert on smithery or armor by any measure, but knowing a thing or two about getting arrested and having wide access to the keep, she definitely was quite knowledgeable on what a city guard's uniform was supposed to look like. Someone had gone to great lengths to make sure the beasts blended in among the rest of the guards when the time had come. And someone had gone to much greater lengths to make sure nobody would be looking at them too closely, clearly. So I think now the only thing we've got left is Aina. Yeah. Hung up rather precariously between two metal crates, tilted away from each other, a hammock occupied the right corner of the break from the door. Zeb didn't dare come any closer, noticing the weight making the fabric sag. Until her eyes got used enough to the darkness in the far end of the room to reveal that its occupant was some sort of extremely spiky cabbage, conspicuously wrapped in blankets. I mean, she's met Aina in a previous chapter. They were cellmates. I mean, do I have to click on Aina? I thought clicking on Aina would do the thing.
Lick them up! What the? What? No! We're going to die. What's the problem?
Alright, I have to click the things again to get her to interact with them.
Remember that time Adder said he put a snail in his mouth on a dare as a kid, but then he tripped and swallowed it and cried a whole week about it? I can't believe you let that deer kiss you.
What else did we have here? We had the mop and the snails. And we had the amphorae and...
Maybe I could outdrink the beasts. Dream on. You can't even outdrink Adder, you sad sluggard. I said maybe, okay? It was a joke. Hilarious. We're going to end up like Yoff at this rate. Ha 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 ha. I'm going to end up there faster if you don't shut up for 5 seconds and let me think about something useful for once. God! I need a drink.
And then we've got the suits of armor. Zeb finally took notice of the fact that one of the armor sets was, in fact, missing a helmet. It didn't take her long to find it, discarded in a corner. The reason for its early retirement was quite obvious. The top had been smashed into a flat cap. It would serve for little more than to plate food in this state.
I should have started doing that a long time ago. What? Smashing guards' helmets? Yes, they're helmets.
Okay, now. Upon closer inspection, she realized at last that it was no cabbage.
Oh no. What are you doing here?
Zeb had no idea what twist of fate had brought them together twice in barely one day after keeping them away for a whole decade, but the porcelain-skinned smith lay completely immobile, with her green head curled down and her back turned to Zeb. old filthy cape was still attached to her neck.
Weren't you supposed to be in Burbus's palace or something? How could the beast get you too?
Nothing, not even the faintest rustle.
Aina, come on! This is no time to sleep. They're going to devour that sweet little apprentice of yours if you don't get up right now and break us out of here!
Ignoring favors and requests wasn't exactly what we would call out of character for Aina.
Some all-powerful cursed being you are. Always looking the other way while someone eats your boyfriend.
Ignoring such provocations, however, with a level of apprehension she rarely felt towards anything in her life, Seb put a hand on Aina's shoulder and turned her whole body around. Aina's expression remained frozen in complete neutrality. Her eyes were wide open, set far beyond anywhere they could see. Seb drew a hand to her mouth, barely holding back a gasp at the sight. She snapped a finger in front of Aina's eyes, trying to prompt some sort of reaction from her oldest friend. Nothing. The gazelle turned around for a moment and took a very, very deep breath.
She's not really deceased. She's not a person, no more than you are. You know this. Aina, I know you're immortal, God's sake. Don't worry. I'll let her something out.
Aina remained completely motionless. There was an empty look in her eyes that no promise would erase, but Seb knew that it could be changed. She had seen it in action a very, very long time ago.
I bet it's his fault somehow. Or mine, perhaps? I did ask you to make sure he wouldn't do anything stupid. Perhaps that's too great an undertaking even for an immortal furry fossil like you.
Seb's eyes narrowed into a line as she pondered her own words.
Was this part of the curse? Will my body and soul turn to stone as well when everyone forgets me? It looks to me like you have somehow managed to have far more friends in exile than I do in misery, Miss Ghost.
The ground rocked slightly under their feet.
All right, let's start there. Ghost. Let us define a ghost as someone who, despite having their connection to the Hatsa completely severed, refuses to die a physical death. Oblivion is an ordinary enough fate for a cruel and unusual punishment. But this cannot be the case, because then you would simply not exist. You would not live in the memories of any creature the way you do, or if you did, you certainly wouldn't last a day. But there is such a thing as ghosts that rise to prominence and have their memories stored collectively. A presence leaving hoofprints in the snow for travelers, or a cloud in the sky that announces bountiful rain. Small gods. You wouldn't be exactly dead, in any case. But quite honestly, you don't seem to be alive as far as I can tell. This is lifeless, even for you. But Illigrab said you are not physically capable of dying, be it wounds or old age.
So this is a very different interaction now that we had them meet earlier. We had a very different kind of thing during our first playthrough.
So I guess you're just kind of indisposed.
Seb nodded to herself, content with her conclusions thus far. I mean, I'm sure the result will be the same. But this interaction is very different.
This must, therefore, be an intermittent state, a dichotomy between being lifeless and lifelike, only decided by something that keeps you connected to all of us. Something like a pulse that keeps you active, but that you're not receiving now. A bond tethering you to the Hatsa, surely.
The word golem barged into Seb's mind quite uncomfortably, but she couldn't find any good reasons to kick it out of there. None that didn't look like fangs and rippling muscles under Aina's torn-up shirt, and the far scarier possibility that she had something to do with the fact that they both were locked up in some kind of beast den while Adder was still outside.
Suppose it is a physical malfunction. Something must have knocked your connection out of place. This would mean not only can you be hurt, but killed. You just don't realize so. Illigrab would be wrong then. Suppose that it is a matter of the soul instead. Whatever bond has been keeping you alive is failing. That would mean you cannot function without the external source that is providing you the power you require to function. Just like a golem.
Okay, so I think I'm leaving this here for now and we'll continue from this point in the next episode. We know what's going to happen. Sepp is going to do something to wake Aina up, and then we're going to have the whole interaction between Sepp and Aina and Eka and Adder, and yeah. But we'll do that in the next episode. For now, thank you so much for watching and spending a little of your time with me here today. It was lovely to have you. Please remember to be kind to yourself. Have a lovely rest of your day, and I will see you again next time.